The last time President Obama addressed the nation from the Oval Office was 5 years ago to announce the complete withdrawal of U.S. troops from Iraq. 5 years later, U.S. troops are going back. At this point, there seems to be no end in sight to this war. This is all taking place amid polls saying that the majority of Americans do not believe that the president has a good strategy to fight ISIL.
Military experts say that Washington has repeatedly underestimated the enemy and still has no clear strategy.
I think the Obama administration seems to be fairly hapless. It knows that the United States policy has been an utter catastrophe. They funneled arms and money into the armed opposition groups. They brought down the Libyan government before that in 2011. All of these actions created the political space for ISIL. ISIL grew up. Obama said, hey, they're the JV team. We will contain them. ISIL is not contained. They're striking Paris. They're bombing civilian airliners from the Sinai. They're blowing people up in Turkey and the southern suburbs of Lebanon and inside the United States. The United States is responsible for this fragmentation, but Obama seems as of yet unable to summon the will to say, yes, we will partner with the Syrian Arab Army, the main fighting force, the indispensable fighting force if ISIL is to be defeated in Syria, and of course to partner with Russia. There seems to be a contradictory position, almost a schizophrenia in U.S. foreign policy as a consequence.
Meanwhile, ISIL continues to expand into countries that experienced foreign military interventions. RT's Emily Sue looks at the jihadists' latest gains.
Iraq and Syria is where the world's focusing its efforts to wipe ISIL off the map. But we know they're a group not contained by borders. Here's just a few incidents over the past week alone. On Sunday, a car bomb in Yemen killed the governor of the southern port city, Aden. General Jafar Mohammed Saad and 6 of his bodyguards died when a suicide bomber rammed his car into the governor's vehicle. As ever, ISIL swiftly threatens more attacks in the future. And they're on the move, having now seized 4 districts in eastern Afghanistan near the key commercial city of Jalalabad. These photos emerged online, showing as many as 1,600 jihadist fighters being trained and looking terrifyingly better equipped than the once powerful but now divided Taliban. ISIL militants also claim to have killed the Taliban's leader. And in Libya, Islamic State seized the northern city of Sirte. About 5,000 militants currently control the surrounding areas, situated just across the Mediterranean from Europe's shores. The UN warns that Libya is becoming ISIL's next big stronghold.
Well, Islamic State first manifested in Iraq, with former officers from Saddam Hussein's army at the core of the terrorist group. We spoke to Gura Island, the former head of the Israeli National Security Council. He told us concerns over a possible Islamic caliphate, they were being raised back at the start of the American intervention in Iraq.
It was about 12 years ago, a short time after the American invasion to Iraq. The Russians predicted that this war was not going to be very successful. They understood that Iraq might collapse, and one of the possible results would be an emergence of strong Islamic movements that would try to establish an Islamic caliphate in this part of the world, and later on to expand to the rest of the Middle East and beyond that. And in this regard, I must admit that Russians were absolutely correct. Other countries in the region did underestimate this possible phenomena, and actually they continue to underestimate the threat of ISIS, and I think that the international community should find a way to better cooperate, especially between Russia and the rest of the European countries vis-à-vis ISIS, and unfortunately it does not happen.
A petition calling for Turkey to be listed as a state sponsor of terrorism has been registered on the White House website. The flow of ISIL's oil into Turkey, as well as the number of foreign fighters crossing the border into Syria, are listed as reasons. We caught up with the author of the petition, Jim Jatras, who's a former US State Department official.
What I want to see is that Americans and people all over the world go to the White House website and see a true statement about Turkey as an abettor of terrorism, and ask the question, why is it not listed as a state sponsor, which by all accounts it is? It's amazing, since the shoot down of the Russian Sukhoi, since the evidence of Erdogan's trafficking in oil. It's amazing the number of commentaries you're now seeing here in the United States saying, why are we allied with this country anyway? Why is Turkey in NATO?
France's far-right National Front Party has topped the exit